Welcome back to the Key, everybody. It's not a very nice day out here this evening. It's kind of gray and drizzly, but Mark is determined to get this concrete pulled up. This is the concrete pad outside of our back door where our chicken coop used to be. That is now coopless. He's decided to use the Grapple, which is fast becoming his favorite attachment to use. The forklift was for a long time, but I think the Grapple is fast overtaking it. See how deep that concrete actually is. It's gonna go change either to the forklift or the bucket. In the meantime, you can see we've spent the last week or so trying to tidy things up. The Quonset hut got ripped pretty badly in the last few rain and windstorms that we had, so that had to get cleaned out and taken down. There's still one piece we haven't been able to get up to the top to cut off. The chicken coop is now on the north side of the house. This will be its permanent home until the chickens find their way to chicken heaven. And in another month or so, as it cools off, we'll build a roof for that run and tarp it so that they're enclosed for the winter. We have spoiled chickens. They really don't like the snow. So during the winter, we try to give them a fully enclosed run. It's not huge, but it's big enough so that they have somewhere other than their chicken coop during the 6 months winter. It is very nice not having that big chicken coop and run blocking our kitchen and entryway and dining room windows. Still a little bit of a shock when I look out the window sometimes and the big red coop isn't there, but it's nice. This was our chicken feeding window. It used to open up right into the chicken run here. We had the screen out and we could just feed them scraps right out that hole. And while I will admit to missing how convenient that is, I certainly love being able to open the window and not smell chicken run anymore. Well, the bucket it is. So we'll see if this does a better job than the Grapple did, although the Grapple was a good idea. It's what I expected he would have started with. There we go. Another chunk up. We have these big squares of concrete. You can see they're already quite broken up in spots. It's pretty cracked. Pretty thick on that edge down there too. But it was going down a slope, so it was kind of a retaining wall as well. Looks like it's going to be somewhat of a chore trying to get it out of there. somehow, even though I wanted to stay inside on this kind of drizzly evening that's not so nice out, and Mark wanted to be outside, here I am standing out in the rain videoing him while he sits in the cab, staying nice and dry. It's funny how that works out, isn't it? Well, chunk number 2. Says he's got a stack over by the sawmill where he's been storing all the concrete. He has plans for it. Waste not, want not. And all that good recycling jazz. So you can see how thick that edge is versus how thin. Comparatively thin the rest of the slab is. You can see how, or maybe you can't, if I zoom in, how much it's washed out under there, so it's no wonder that the pad is cracked all over the place. Armstrong lifting into the bucket. Not too windy tonight. It's nice. Uh-oh. The axe is out. I would have thought the sledgehammer, but... Two summers ago, this was my job on the front porch, but it was much smaller and much thinner than this stuff. No sledgehammer? It looks like we have 2 layers of concrete here, one on top of the other, and that hammer didn't, or that axe didn't make much of a dent in it. So the reason that Mark is trying to rip this concrete out was that we'd really like to put a nice big deck on the back of the house here. Going from just the garage side of that back door right to the end of the house, and about as deep as that concrete is, so about 16 feet deep. We have a patio door down there that we got not long ago. It's only a year old, was only in a house for a year when they took it out. We'd like to replace our dining room window where that lovely stained glass piece is hanging with the patio door out into an outside kitchen on the deck. We would put our lovely charcoal egg barbecue on it, close some of it in so that we can enjoy it while the mosquito and black fly season is on in the spring. We do a lot of grilling and barbecuing, so... Ooh, he lifted the whole thing there. There we go. How much power has that LX got? Ooh, that's a big chunk. Just lifted solid right on that crack, but I'm not sure that the LX can move that. It is 2 layers of concrete, Mark says. The original layer and then a top coating. We suspect the first concrete slumped and they just top coated it to level it out. The bottom layer broke some. Looks like the top layer did too. Wow. Tilt the bucket a bit and see if we can get it. I use "we" loosely. We'll see if Mark can get it to go in the bucket a little bit more, because I'm definitely not going to try and help. Flip it up and over onto the piece on top behind it there. Oh. Or break it into smaller pieces so you can move it better. That also works. All right, let's just carry on. Well, that one was much easier. Supposed to lift with your knees. Lift with your knees. No, it's considerably thicker than we thought it was going to be, each layer.
That one is, but you look at this one. That's how thick it is.
Yeah. It's not very consistent.
And you found that one lots of thick here.
Yes, we have. If you're trying to fill in holes, then I guess some parts are going to be thicker than others. Instead of leveling it out with some dirt first.
Yeah.
There is an abundance of that around here, but it is pretty flaky concrete at this point. Trying to stay under the overhang so I don't get too wet. That piece just wants to stay solid. It doesn't want to break at all. Oh, there we go. Got a chunk broken off the corner. That'll help. Back out to the Armstrong work. You need the lever again. The lever. How do you say that? Lever? Lever? It's your preferred pronunciation. Tomato, tomato. Use a lever to lever it in. I think this is maybe turning out to be far more physical work than we were anticipating. We were thinking the tractor would be doing all of this, but we also weren't thinking that the concrete was going to be quite this thick either. I had to pause and curl the bucket for him because he couldn't let go of that. It's just a hair too wide to fit in the bucket. Hopefully, all the concrete isn't quite this thick. Since this piece was right on the slope, this part we're working on right now, I'm hoping it's thicker than the rest of it. Maybe it's the only part that has 2 coats. Fingers crossed. We're gonna have to go check out that stack of concrete over by the sawmill somewhere. Not sure what the plan is, to tell you the truth. I think at this point he's just doing cleanup on these chunks. Making our way to the sawmill to see the concrete cemetery of Manistow Key. there's a sawmill. Oh yes, look at that. This is where old concrete goes to await its second life. I'm not sure if he's going to try and build a more stable base for the sawmill with it, or what the plans are. But at some point we'll use it for something. Walk around, get a little view of some of the wood piles, and then back up the driveway to the back door. And it's starting to rain harder now, so I think it's time for me to go in. Hey folks, it really started to rain, so I've gone in, or at least around to the front of the house where the wind isn't blowing the rain right at me. Thanks for dropping by the key to watch us tear up concrete. Again, I use we generally, as Mark is doing most of the work and I'm just holding the camera for him. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Mark loves to chat with people. Hit the bell. He tells me that all of that stuff really helps the channel. And thanks for hanging out at the key with us once again. See you next time. Stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy the rest of your summer.